Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hope you're having a great day. Steve coming at you. I just wanted to share some thoughts on recent events that are taking place in Seattle. It really actually kind of breaks my heart because I think Seattle's an amazing city. I've been, absolutely beautiful city, right there on the Pacific Ocean. Gorgeous. I've been on the Space Needle. It is a phenomenal city, beautiful city. And I really enjoyed my visit when I was there. But now apparently, within the downtown area of Seattle, it's equivalently 6 city blocks, which is a pretty good size area. 6 city blocks. There is a new nation state, so to speak, called CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which is basically a group of protesters have taken over those 6 blocks of downtown Seattle, including the 13th, I think, of the East Precinct there, and claiming it as their own. Apparently, I guess the mayor instructed the police to leave that precinct, and so now CHAZ, which includes a group of socialists and, basically people who just want to run things in their own little commune kind of way, have taken over that area, and now they consider themselves to be running the show there. And what that got me thinking about was not so much just the protesting, but the riots and the looting, and and now they're tearing down statues, old relics, Confederate Civil War relics, chopping off the heads of them, tearing them down. They're doing the same thing in Virginia and all around the country as far as that kind of stuff is concerned. And it reminded me of how, I don't know if you guys, some of you probably too young, didn't grow up the way I did, but back in the day, when you had kids who acted up in public, there was a way to remedy that. And so I'm a big believer that you should never underestimate the value of a well-placed ass whipping. And I don't mean a spanking where you tap them 2 or 3 times and don't do that again, young man or young lady, when they're little, because it shocks their system and they learn, oh, I shouldn't do these things. I mean, when you have a bratty kid who, they don't get their way, so they start trashing stuff. And a lot of times the only way to get those kinds of kids under control is to give them an ass whipping. I mean, because there's something really cool about those kinds of whippings that will focus the mind. An ass whipping will focus the mind in a heartbeat, because the level of pain involved will get your attention real quick. So what I think needs to happen is the adults in the room, the silent majority, maybe it's time to stop being so silent, because I know everybody in Seattle doesn't feel the way these group of radicals, basically, who've taken over the 6 city blocks, feel. I know that people in Seattle who just want to live their lives and live in peace and enjoy the city of Seattle. Unfortunately, you have a mayor who seems to be in line with the radicals. Now, that's a problem, Seattle, y'all have to fix. You put the wrong person in charge, trying to be super enlightened, and you see what that super enlightenment got you as far as leadership, which is essentially none. But I digress. What I feel like needs to happen with these radicals, and not just the ones in CHAZ, which is such a stupid 80s name for a new city-state, they need ass whippings. They need to get ass whippings, all of them, because apparently they didn't. These snowflake, safe space, man bun wearing kids who were told, everybody got a participation trophy, all this kind of stuff. Apparently they didn't understand how the real world worked, and the parents fell down on the job and didn't explain it to them. Because in the real world, when you act up, the real world will hand you an ass whipping for real. Because the real world doesn't care if you start messing up the works. Somebody's going to come serve you. And the fact that hasn't happened in Seattle yet, but I do feel like it should, tells you everything you need to know, especially in some of these places around the country where kids are losing their mind and tearing down all kinds of monuments. Now, whether you agree with them, agree with it or not, you don't go around because you don't like something and you don't like the history of something and decide, I'm going to tear it down. That's not how that works. And so when you have radical, bad kids, I know these are adults, but I'm talking about people who are acting like bratty kids, you have to serve them up an ass whipping so they understand, oh, I probably shouldn't act like this. That is painful. I don't want none of that pain. I'm going to figure out a different way to get my point across. If you had more of that, you have a whole lot less of what's going on in Seattle with these CHAZ folks. But all this came from people being locked up forever. You know, it's funny because they're out there protesting, they're holding down certain sections of the city. We were told that COVID was so dangerous, you couldn't even have a funeral for your family members who died in nursing homes, that were in nursing homes safe until, like, the governor of New York had COVID nursing home people get placed in the nursing homes and spreading it around and killing a bunch of folks. All that stuff happened, and nobody gets punished for it. They're thinking about it like it's not a big deal. When this happened, you were told you couldn't go visit your family member, you couldn't have a funeral, you couldn't have a public funeral because it was just too dangerous. And now George Floyd has had 4, 5, or 6 star-studded funerals. I hope y'all enjoyed, as my girl Laura says, shout out to Laura, that free sample of socialism you got. Because that's exactly what's going on right now. You get a free sample of socialism. If you don't like it, don't buy the product. I promise you, it's not for us. It's not for us. If you believe in freedom, that free sample is not for you. And so with that, guys, I hope y'all having a great day. Y'all take care. If you like what I said, please give me a thumbs up, share the video. If you don't, thumbs down, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. Look forward to talking to you soon. Hope you're having a great day.